So today we are going to be making a self-watering slash water storing milk jug gardening container. And this is going to be something that I use as an in-between gardening pot because I have plants that are on my porch that I water every day. I can pay more attention to them because they're right near where I walk into our house, and it makes it easier to watch them to make sure there's no issues with them being outside or suffering from transplant shock or weather shock, heat strokes, cold fronts, etc. They're in a much easier place to move inside because they're still in containers, but they're still young, and so I want to keep a close eye on them. But our family goes through a lot of milk. We go through like a gallon of milk a day pretty much. And so if I'm going to be going through all this milk and have all this plastic, I'd rather make use of it, even though it's not something that's necessarily organic. My plants aren't going to be in there long enough to really soak anything bad from the container because they're going to be transplanted outside into the ground. But yeah, let me know what you think. So this is the bottom, and this is actually what's going to hold the water, the excess water, and this is going to be what you plant in. Comes with this handy dandy handle, which you want to leave attached on the top part. Next, we're going to take this lid, and we're going to poke some holes in it. So there we go, 4 holes. So we're going to go ahead and put this back on. Okay, I have this outside now, and as you can see, this is kind of how it sets. Now you could make this a little deeper and this would be a little shallower, but I like it like this because normally what I'm doing, like with this cilantro, is I'm kind of getting them started to transplant outside later. And this is the one that I had going for the last few days. It's got some extra water in here, but the soil will soak up what it needs. I will also warn you, you could make some kind of adjustment to keep this from sliding like that, although it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Some people would find that a little annoying. I just kind of balance it, and it tends to stay there unless something else affects it. But I'm going to go ahead and put this soil in here. I have a cucumber plant in here. It's a Space Master cucumber plant that I would like to get outside. This is my little aquaponic system. And then I also have some toilet paper roll babies that I planted yesterday. They're tomato. So I'm going to go ahead and transplant this guy into that container because cucumbers, if you're going to transplant them, you really need to do them young because they're sensitive to transplanting. So I'm going to go ahead and get him outside. Also, when you're planting, you really want to make sure that your soil is already somewhat moist so that it doesn't reject water or become hydrophobic and repel the water. That way, everything kind of absorbs in. So I'm going to go ahead and get some water for this guy. The soil is already a little moist. So, quick thing I wanted to talk about and see if anyone else has ever tried doing this. Because I started raising fish, I started getting this stuff because our water from our tap is extremely chlorinated, and this is something that I use in the fish water when I do water changes to keep it from killing the fish. So because I water my same plants with that water and it's highly chlorinated, I always put just a little bit in my watering water, which I normally keep this bucket, it's a 5-gallon, on the front porch with fresh tap water, with a little bit of the dechlorinator in it. And it's really because I'm going to use it right now. If I was to wait till tomorrow to need this water, then I would probably not put the dechlorinator in it, just because chlorine evaporates over time of exposure. So I'm going to go ahead and get this lovely cucumber some water. And then this you can overwater a little bit because it'll drain down into that bottom. It's probably a little too much, but that's okay. It'll drip. And then that is my little homemade milk jug gardening container and then see how it's dripping through the bottom. And yeah, one thing I will say is I used a knife on this one and it left cleaner edges than the scissors did. So I'm going to have to come back in and kind of trim this to keep it from getting my fingers whenever I pick it up. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I know this is super simple, but we are glad you came and we hope to see you again soon. Bye.